Ariel Sharon, whatever is thought of him in Israel, in the Arab world, in the wider world, is an important type of politician here. He's one of the founding generations of Israeli leaders. He was a soldier in Israel's War of Independence in the 1940s. He was an active politician right up until the moment when he suffered that brain hemorrhage and slipped into a coma 8 years ago. So his life is entwined with the story of the Israeli state, with its wars, with its political crises, with its difficulties. And so, although he's a polarizing figure, a very controversial figure very often in Israeli politics, I think one thing that would perhaps unite all Israelis in how they look at Ariel Sharon and the men of his generation is that they have a special status in Israeli history, and for that reason this sudden deterioration in his health is being followed very, very closely here in Israel.
Kevin, he was a great opportunist. He was a member of Likud and then founded his own party, Kadima, which still survives. But I remember going with him to Gaza and at a Jewish settlement saying, we will never, ever leave these settlements. And then he ordered that they should be evacuated eventually.
Well, I think Mr. Sharon himself would have said that he certainly showed a great deal of flexibility over time, and the varying fortunes of Israeli politics do call for flexibility. I think one thing you can say about that extraordinary decision to order the disengagement of the settlers from Gaza and Israeli disengagement from Gaza towards the end of his political career was that it showed a capacity for taking very difficult decisions. And lots of people would say that the authority within Israeli society that Ariel Sharon built up as a soldier, as an uncompromising defender of Israeli interests, gave him the authority to take a decision with which many, many Israelis felt very uncomfortable. So he did, at one point in his career, very, very strongly support the settlers. He did, at a later point, order that disengagement from Gaza, but the man they called the bulldozer had the authority to get away with that kind of flexibility in his own political life. And he always had the authority, the character, the charisma to explain those difficult decisions to a sometimes sceptical public.